Okay, so now let's talk about we're going to talk about lazy properties and objects and how that benefits you, right? So when people talk about lazy, what are they talking about? What do they mean? A lazy object or property is when you want the object to do some heavy lifting. And as you want to do heavy lifting as seldom as possible. Uh, you may need an image or a calculation to take place a lot. However, you may not have to keep doing the same calculation over and over again. A lazy property or object will do the heavy lifting only when you need it. I know that doesn't make sense, a lot of sense right now, but that's the gist. I'm going to get more in depth. So let's talk about a lazy property, right? So this would be the syntax, right? Lazy var, not a capital L, by the way. Cost, your data type was integer, and you're going to return this function that does whatever expensive, resource intensive thing that gets the integer value. The next time that you call the function, you don't have to do that again. You can use the same value to get that information. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about because, again, this only makes some sense. Okay. Um, whereas we have a custom image view that can be lazy as well. You know, this custom image view can be lazy in that it will cache the image once the image is downloaded, for example, in a table view. And if the image needs to be displayed again, it will not be downloaded. It will be taken from cache. Okay, so that's the basic gist of how this is going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and get into doing a lazy property real quick. Okay. Okay. So let's see. We have this right here. Hold on. What the heck is going on with this? Okay, so here's what we're gonna do, right? So we have this notification right here. I mean, not notification, I'm sorry. We have this playground. Ugh. So we have this lazy var. Again, a lazy var is a property that never gets initialized until you need it. You may write the you may write the functionality that initializes it, but in the class, initialize it in the class, but until you create an instance where you actually use it, these resources will not be used. What does that even mean? First of all, it's instance, not instance. Okay. Um, so we have this class car, and this class car has three properties: model of model type, make of make type, and doors event type. Okay. And we have this function. It's called heavy lifting. We're going to create a property and we're going to use this. Now, I want you to use your imagination with me, okay? Um, check this out. We're going to write a function, and this is just using resources for the sake of using resources, just so you can, just to illustrate how this is going to work, okay? What this function does, it's going to count from 0 to 4,000 and append each number in an array. And then it's going to um, take all the items in that array, add them up to one number, and return that sum in the function. So I'm gonna give you a good example of this. I'm gonna go down here and let's just do this. What is this called? Heavy lifting. Yay. Heavy. Jesus Christ. Heavy lifting dot lift, right? And we should see over here. So it's firing, right? And you can see it right here. And it's working. It's working. It's working. And this is finally the sum. That's how long it took to come up with this number. Okay. What is that? 8,000,002,000. Okay. All right. So we're going to take that number and we're going to create a property here. Okay. And I'm going to do this with I'm going to do this in two ways, right? I'm going to create a property. One is going to be a computed property. Then the other one is going to be a lazy var. And just to illustrate the difference. Okay, so let me get rid of this. I'm going to show you. Let's go ahead and do the computer property, right? The computer property will say this var cost int yeah, cost int, and this should say get, right? This should be what the heck is the name of this? This should be heavy lifting dot lift. Heavy lifting dot lift. Okay. And that is what this is called. And of course, so right here, this should be empty. Okay, well, whatever. All right, this shouldn't be anything, but whatever. Okay. Now what I need to do is I'm going to create, so this is heavy lifting. So now what I'm going to do is do this. I'm going to create an instance of my car. I'm gonna call it infinity, right? Var in infinity, right? Infinite car right here, and then I have a make model. Let's see, make is M35. That is a model for infinity. A make is infinity, and the doors 4, right? Okay. Now check this out. When I do this, okay, the property is not set, right? Property is not set. Okay. I say I say infinity dot cost. Now I run it. I'm running it now, and it's working. It's working. See that? It's working. And there, I finally have it. Now, here's the part where it's resource intensive because you're going to do this resource intensive activity anyway, right? Now, imagine if I have to do this a couple times, right? Pete, check it out. Now, I want you to look at this, and I want you to look at this. Now it's working. There you go. We're working. Still working. As you can see right there, the first calculation right there. It's working again, though. Still firing. Second one, right? It's a long time, a lot of work. Third one, right? Fourth one. There we go. and look at how much work we did, right? Now, when you make this a computed property, you're going to do it like this. Let's get rid of this. Okay, this is a computer property. I'm sorry. This is what happens when you make it a computed property, right? Now, let's do it. Let's do it differently. Let's make this a lazy var. Lazy var. Right? This is. Now we have a lazy var, and we are returning a what? A crap, I can't remember what it's called. Heavy lifting. Can't even remember the name of this function. Dot lift. Okay. Now watch what happens when we run this. Okay. And again, so we're working. Okay. Oh, let me start all over again, just so you can see that. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all of this, right? Let me go ahead and comment this out, just so you can see it. Okay. All right. Now it's commented out, right? I'm going to bring it back. Check this out. Okay. Now it's working. Okay. Still working. It's still working. But you notice all of them come in at the same time. Why? Because you only had to do the process once. And Xcode will say, if we already have the cost, why are we doing it again? We can save resources, right? We can hold it again, display it again, and display it again without doing all the work over and over again. That's the lazy property in action. Okay? And again, computer property, you have to do it over and over again. Lazy property, it's saved. That's really the big difference. That's what a lazy property does. Now let's take this lazy concept. We're going to apply it to an image in a table view so that you can understand it. Okay? So on to the next.